What's up everybody, this is swgg with Swagger Gaming. If you haven't already seen it, check out the intro video for this series to get more information about me and the series in general. The link will be located down in the description. Today we're going to be going over the hospital, which is located at the northeast side of the Erangel map, just under Georgia Pole. This drop typically has a low number of people dropping, especially when further away from the plane path. This map is obviously extremely hard to read with all the plane paths at once, but you can see that there were no paths that were exactly the same. In the 30 drops for the hospital, I dropped an average of 1,053 meters from the location, which is just over the length of one large grid square on the map. Here are the closest and furthest drops. In the closest drop we saw 6 enemies and finished with 1 kill at a rank 93 out of 95. In the furthest drop, we saw 0 enemies and finished with 1 kill at rank 29 out of 97. And here are my best and worst games from a ranking standpoint. Again, the worst game was the closest drop with 6 enemies, 1 kill at rank 93 out of 95. And my best game, we saw 0 enemies drop at our location and finished with 1 kill at rank 9 out of 93. The biggest thing to note for the drop distances is in the 8 drops under 500 meters, I saw 3+ enemies in 6 of them and 2 enemies in the other 2 games. The highest total number of enemies I saw was 6, and that was with the plane path directly over the drop location. For drops longer than 1500 meters, I saw 0 enemies in 8 out of the 10 games. One game at a drop distance of 1650 meters, there were 2 opponents, and the last game we saw 1 at a drop distance of 1700 meters. In general, these numbers tell me that like most places, the closer you are to the drop, the more enemies you will have dropping with you. However, looking at the average number of enemies at 1.5, you can see that this is a relatively low population area. The last thing to note for dropping in this area is you'll need to watch out for people dropping at the crates in South Georgia Pole. If the plane path is anywhere close, there will be a fair number of people dropping there, and they can leak over to the hospital if they bail out late. Here are all of the initial circles for the games that I played. Note that there were 13 circles that I was unable to get exact locations on due to being killed before I could see them on the map. 3 of these I died before the circle even spawned. 3 additional times I was able to see the edge of the circle on my minimap, so I did my best to guess where the full circle landed. These are noted in yellow. There were 7 circles where I could see the line on the minimap, but not the circle itself before I died. These are noted with orange lines. Here are the 17 circles I was able to log the exact location of. They are spread fairly evenly and randomly throughout the map. I was looking for a correlation between initial circle spawn and ranking, but I couldn't find any. This is a map with only the circles from the 8 top 20 finishes I had for the hospital drops. Like the last map we saw, these also appear to be spread evenly throughout the map. There are a good number of vehicle spawns to both the north and south of the hospital. Most of these spawns are along the roads that run east to west, and one is located in a garage. The red squares on the map show the locations of vehicles on the roads, and the yellow one shows the one in the garage. Out of the 30 games, I was able to pull vehicle data from 16, but 4 I either missed the north or south due to the circle spawns or enemy players. This map shows the same car locations, but color-coded to how many times a vehicle spawned in certain locations. As you can see, the individual locations to the north seem to be the most reliable, but there are more locations to the south, and adding everything up, it looks like you have a higher chance of finding a vehicle if you work your way down the road to the south. Let's get into the loadout and game data. There will be a link in the description to the spreadsheets and infographics I will be using in this video. Feel free to check it out or make a copy so you can fill in your own data. Here are the averages for the 30 games I played. As you can see, there are on average 1.5 people dropping at this location per game, and we got just under 1 kill per game. The average game length was just over 10.5 minutes, and we ranked on average 47.5 out of 94. Looking at the gear data, the first weapon we saw the most was the P92. We found this weapon first 6 out of the 30 games. Overall, 14 out of the 30 first weapons were pistols, 6 were shotguns, 5 were SMGs, 3 were assault rifles, 1 was a Kar 98K, and 1 was a crossbow. The loadout averages show the number of weapons, attachments, healing, and gear when I was either killed or left the drop area. This is to get a sense of how good the loot spawns are at this location. If the ideal loadout is an assault rifle and a sniper, we didn't do too bad here. We ended up with an AR 60% of the time and a sniper 37% of the time. This includes the 14 times we ended up dying at the hospital, however. So if you remove those, the numbers are closer to 88% for ARs and 63% for snipers if we get out alive. Taking a quick look at the gear and medicine stats, we can see that we are picking up a level 1 or 2 bag, hat, and vest most of the time, as the average levels are 1.6, 1.4, and 1.3 respectively. Can also see that we're picking up on average 1.5 grenades per game and almost a pan every other game. We only found 1 medkit through 30 drops, but averaged 1.7 first aids and energy drinks. There were 20 total painkillers, but they were concentrated to only a few games. There were 3 games where we found 3 or more painkillers and 19 games where we found 0. In my opinion, the hospital is a good middle ground between the chaos of dropping in a high population location and the outskirts of the map. You will usually see 1 or 2 enemies drop with you, and if you can take them out, you have a great chance at good gear moving towards the middle in late games. You also have a great chance at finding a vehicle to counteract the randomness of the circle spawns. So what do you guys think? Does the hospital sound like a good place to drop? Would you like to see more or different stats in these videos moving forward? Let me know in the comment section down below. Thanks.